Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. On a crazy day on the timeline yesterday as the Halo community gets put into uproar by a very controversial ruling indeed. FormaL steps in to save the day, joining one of the biggest rivals of course the Optic Halo team. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do. Tap this channel if you're new people, and please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. So usually we don't talk about too much Halo stuff on this channel, but this is so well intertwined between the communities that we just have to discuss it. It's also incredibly dramatic. We love that type of stuff here on the timeline on the TacticalRab channel. So firstly, Shotzi tweets this out, right? He's kind of maybe hinting a return to Halo, probably as a result of this whole situation, because Sentinels, the team that won the most recent event to get the #1 seeds for the rally event this coming weekend, is that, well, they're going to need another player, as we're going to look at here in a few minutes time. And of course, the player that turns out to be is that, well, rather surprising to many, and of course it caused some many dramatic consequences, as I'm sure you guys can understand. It's esports, baby. This is how things tend to go. So the HCS revealed this yesterday. We talked about this the last couple of days, the fact that yes, Snakebite was discussing that Royal2 on the Sentinels was using it, well, at least potentially using some sort of geo-filtering thing to get on a server, which is something he's not necessarily technically allowed to be on. Now, apparently that isn't actually leading to any advantage for them, but HCS come out and they do some investigation into this, and they decide to actually just straight up ban Royal2 for at least, well, I'm pretty sure to the end of January. We'll have a look at it in just a second. And, well, Sentinels Frosty, right, who was a Call of Duty player for a fair bit of time, couple of years he spent in Call of Duty and Black Ops 4, and then on Modern Warfare, of course, on the Florida Mutineers, and he's like, yeah, what is going on here, right? Because apparently, and I'm pretty sure Snakebite said this as well, the players weren't even told that this was happening before they announced it to the public. Like, they weren't even told ahead of the public. It was just straight up revealed, and they said, okay, yes, this is what's going on. Frosty's like, okay, what is this about? Like, it's just kind of crazy to see, and of course, some of the Call of Duty players already getting involved, as this is quite a remarkable situation really within the controller FPS community. So HCS suspended Royal2, one of the best players ever on this Sentinels roster right now, from competitive play until January the 28th. So, nullification of their placement from the past events. They're going to, well, remove those points. Forfeiture of that tournament that they played in, that they got that #1 seed confirmed in, and, as a result of this suspension, all this type of stuff, because apparently using this geo-filtering thing isn't necessarily allowed within the rules or whatever. Like, there was going to be some investigation here. I'm kind of surprised they did anything, especially because Sentinels and the rivalries that they have with the other top teams have been very well counted on, right? The last few weeks or so, there's been some talk about, okay, other teams won't practice against them, right? Because that, like, personality clashes and play style issues, this type of stuff, right? So having Sentinels playing in this tournament makes a lot of sense, right? It's a kind of strange decision, I think. At least, maybe it's the one they think is fair, but in looking at the storylines for the events, it would have made more sense probably just to let them play, right? Especially because, as a lot of the players have said, they're actually using this kind of a geo-filtering thing to get on a different server than what he's playing on, because I'm pretty sure he's from Canada, and he's been playing on like a Seattle server or something, using this kind of geo-filtering thing. Not exactly sure how it works, but Frosty goes on to say that actually this is if we're going to call this cheating, it's actually an intentional disadvantage. Like, we totally forced ourselves to play on a West server versus Cloud9, who's Triple West. Makes total sense. So very much disputing the ruling here. Like, apparently they didn't really get to give their points across, or HCS didn't really listen to them, or whoever was looking into this. There was a lot of drama really about this from the Sentinels guys, and to be fair to them, a lot of these tweets haven't been deleted. Some of them have though. Like, Snapdown points out a few of them right here. This from Royal1, like, this is a phenomenal tweet, to be honest. You guys can't quite fully see it. I'll put it on the full screen. What a disgusting group of individuals involved in this process. Never have I seen such an unfair and unjust investigation process in my life. What a great way to treat your 2-times world championship team that has done so much for your franchise. Tashi, like kind of the guy over at the HCS that apparently is dealing with some of this stuff, you disgust me, he says. Maybe this got deleted. Royal1, I'm guessing the coach of this team, with that Royal2, the player who got banned. Now, well, Lethal says this. I remember when I read this HCS announcement, and then I remember that Matt, I guess that's, Royal2, offered to send them his entire PC to look through for proof, and they denied it. So apparently Sentinels were like, look, if you want to look at the PC and make sure nothing actually dodgy is going on here, then feel free to do so. But HCS come out anyway with this rule set, and, well, decide to actually ban him until the end of January, which of course means that they won't be able to play with him for this upcoming event here in Rally, the kickoff event for Halo, the first one in many a year, in just a couple of days' time. He does do an explanation statement right here during the launch of Halo Infinite. I was experiencing extremely high ping with the central server. I changed my settings to use the West Coast server, but failed to turn it off for the NA kickoff qualifier. While this was corrected before last night's Esports Arena tournament, I understand the issues my oversight caused for the qualifier. I truly did not realize the impact this decision would have. For that, I'm deeply sorry and apologize to my fans, and wish my teammates the best of luck in Rally, because initially, all the teammates were saying, look, we're not even going to play, we're refusing to play. If Royal2 gets banned, we're not going to play this tournament, like, screw you to the HCS effectively. Now, look, looking at this tweet, it seems like, yes, maybe he didn't turn this off accidentally, but I don't really think it was playing to their advantage. But I guess HES decided, look, if you're going to do this kind of changing the settings thing, that's not going to be allowed in our rule set. So they get rid of him. Now, of course, as Lethal goes on to say, like, yeah, that's his official statement, but it doesn't change a single thing I said about their investigation or the ISP-related issues that I think was causing all of this. The man touched his files at some point and is just doing this to move on from the issue since HES have made their choice, bad investigation or not. So the drama's kicking off. These guys just love to go at it on the timeline, to be honest. But of course, what this does mean is that, well, some of the Call of Duty community certainly gave some responses to this. Method says, I propose suspending aBeZy, right? Get rid of him for the game. Like, dude, is aBeZy like, what's going on here? Even Arcitys comes in the reply, I propose we suspend Optic Texas as well. Seth likes this stuff way too much. Scum's like, what's going on? So, I don't really know what's going on here, frankly. But, yeah, the Call of Duty pros getting in on the act, to be honest. Like, okay, aBeZy, he's got to go as well for some unknown reason. Maybe it's just because this guy's too good. As Clay says, Halo ruling is comedy. People have been geo-filtering in Call of Duty since 2015, 2Ks, 5Ks, can't connect to the West Coast host, sorry, he says. So, apparently this has been going on in Call of Duty for ages. But, yeah, for whatever reason, HES, they've now decided to take some action on it. Parasite as well, HES decision is comical, especially without conclusive data, just speculation, like without actually looking at the PC and this type of stuff. I thought this was kind of funny as well, though, because as he says, while we're on the topic of the lengths HES even took to evaluate a cheating accusation, it's crazy because Call of Duty would never even do that. Guys cheating, oh well, sorry about that. Anti-cheat is coming down the pipeline. So that's kind of the thing. Maybe in Call of Duty they just wouldn't care to the point where actually it might be better because, well, the storylines get to maintain themselves going into the event. But of course, this is not where the story ends because Sentinels decide, okay, are we going to not play this tournament at all? Not even bother with it? Because, they've got fans, they've got stuff like this to respect in a way. Like, are they going to not turn up at all? Are they going to play out? I'm pretty sure the Optic Halo team now gets the official #1 seed because they lost to the Sentinels guys in the finals of that tournament kind of recently that determined the #1 seed for the rally event. So Optic are going in as #1 seed. And I'm not exactly sure where, well, Sentinels will find themselves here, whether they have to fight through open or whether, like, FormaL has enough points from his time on Space Station Gaming to make something happen over there. But as Attach says here, no reason to even watch the event now. Fossey was like, yeah, I didn't say it, but you guys said it as well, if they're not going to be competing. But, well, it turns out that that's actually not the case because, well, as MLG Ace says over here, FormaL is leaving for Sentinels in place of Royal2. We need one. Who is up next, right? So Ace is like, look, I'm playing for Space Station right now, and FormaL's just straight up dipped out of here to go to Sentinels. So pretty incredible stuff, to be honest, because we've been talking about FormaL in Halo for the last few weeks or so. A lot of people say, look, if FormaL comes back, this guy is going to be deadly. Like, got one of the crispiest shots in the Halo scene. Seems to be enjoying that game, playing it competitively a lot more than he was in Call of Duty the last couple of years. And he tweets out this after the fact, like, something potentially going on, and then confirms it in this tweet right here to 12,000 likes. On a serious note, this was too good of an opportunity to pass up. I appreciate the guys on Space Station Gaming. It was fun to learn the game together, and I wish them the best of luck. I'll be playing with Sentinels for Rally. Should be a spicy weekend. I'm still Optic forever, though. So kind of crazy, really, that Optic have now inherited this #1 seed, and FormaL, of course, still technically on Optic, was playing with Space Station Gaming for a while. Now he's going to the best team, theoretically, in Sentinels, joining them for this event. You can imagine they're not going to be quite as good with FormaL just because he's like a new fit into the team for this event than they were with Royal2. But still, they could make a great run here and find themselves, like, playing up against Optic at some point, right? That could be quite kind of interesting to see. So I don't really know what happens after this tourney as well, because I guess I don't know if there's some event in January, probably not. So it might be like February time when Royal2 is then unbanned and can come back into the Sentinels team that I imagine they still want to play with going forward, unless FormaL just goes completely god mode this event and they keep him for some reason, but I kind of doubt that'll be the case. But he's going to have to go back to some team after the fact. Kind of crazy to see the drama happening really on this front. And as Clay says, dog, you're on an org speedrun any %. You've been on Optic, Envy, FaZe, SSG, and now Sentinels all in 3 weeks, right? So remember that, right? When it was like Optic FormaL, then he becomes Optic Envy FormaL because, of course, well, the merger happens. So he's technically on Optic and Envy at the same time. Then he joins FaZe for a little bit because, like, the snipe down thing was going on. Like, snipe down wasn't coming back from like Apex Legends or something. So FormaL stepped in for a time while he was kind of awaiting his return. And then, like, now he's on SSG for a little bit, Space Station Gaming, and now Sentinels all in the period of a few weeks. So FormaL's kind of doing his old school stuff back at the start of the Call of Duty days, where he was just team hopping all over the place. He came from Halo initially into Call of Duty back in Ghost, then team hopped about like 4 or 5 different teams in the space of a few months, and then ended up on Optic Gaming for Advanced Warfare. So he did well back in the day there, and he's maybe pulling off a similar thing right here. So FormaL's back on his grind sets, but you got to respect it. This also from Hastro I thought was kind of interesting, just discussing the situation, right? Because if you are, well, Hastro, if you are Hex and you're managing, I guess, FormaL as part of the Optic Envy brand, like, do you want to let him go to play for Sentinels when that's biggest competitor maybe at the event, right? It was never a question, he says, of whether or not to allow FormaL to play for Sentinels. We want Matt, that being FormaL, to have a chance to compete, even if it means he has to play for our toughest opponent. It's a good problem to have when we contract 6 of the best Halo players on Earth, right? Within not just the game itself, but also they've got FormaL, they've got Shotzi as well over there, if at all required. So kind of crazy to think about the reaction from the Call of Duty pros. I thought it was particularly entertaining. This also, as we see, really just got a lot more interesting, right? With FormaL over there, kind of getting ready to go in the Hex quarters, and then the actual Optic Halo team behind them then, right? So this could be a crazy, like, rivalry to happen at the event, potentially. It's just, crazy drama ready to see. I'm not sure, like, how this would have gone if it was handled by the CDL, right? As Parasite says, would the CDL have cared so much about the cheating accusations to actually do anything about it? Have HCS taken too hard of a line on this issue? And what does this mean for the storylines going forward, right? I'm certainly happy that Sentinels is still going to be competing here. FormaL stepping into that team is kind of crazy, frankly. And the implications are pretty widespread indeed. And well, as I said, as a result of this, I'll certainly be talking a little bit about this event at the Rally event when it happens this weekend, keeping up on these storylines, because I'm sure even if you guys don't follow Halo too closely, like, certainly when FormaL's involved, things get pretty interesting. Now, Space Station say they actually managed to sign a new player very quickly indeed after this whole thing goes down, which is fair enough, right? Given that, okay, Tusk comes into the team, pretty sure, like, this was kind of confirmed on the flank last night as well. No FormaL, no problem, they say. Welcome back, Tusk, to the team. So they managed to get this confirmed pretty quickly after FormaL leaves. But, the chaos in the Halo scene does seem to be continuing onwards. I'll definitely try and touch on it where I can, because it's kind of spicy stuff, and the Call of Duty pros love to get involved as well. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting that like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, and looks like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.